Hi, how you doing? My name is Jacob Aguilar. I'm a Transportation Maintenance Worker 3. I work out of Region 2, Section 4, Colorado Springs. I'm here today because I like to talk about basic guardrail repair and installation for us as highway maintenance workers. Here at CDOT for Colorado Department of Transportation, we want to make sure that we're being very proactive as highway maintenance workers to make sure that we're making the travel roadways safe for the traveling public. So how do we utilize that to make sure that we're compliant with our guardrail? We utilize different tools as far as safety for ourselves, M&S standards, manufacturer specs for the guardrails. I know us as highway maintenance workers in the past that a minimum height of guardrail we know was used to be at 27 inches. Here that spec has changed lately and it is at a minimum from 28 inches to going up to a max of 31 inches. That's very important for us to know because it actually ties into compliance issues and everything that we got to know about guardrail repair and installation. Well, I want to talk a little bit about guardrail inspections for the end terminals and end treatments. One thing that we typically look at highway repairs and any hits that we actually have that we have to deal with. As you can see behind me, we have a highway end terminal that's actually just been recently repaired, which is good. We're keeping in compliance with all of our specs. One thing that we do not know at times is when we get called out for highway repairs, what category do we know and what's the timeline and crucial timeline for us to get those repairs done. One thing that we know that we actually do for our training for highway maintenance workers is the different categories of damage to the guardrail. Categories 1, 2, and 3. Those different categories entail different specifics. Torn rail, holes in it, missing posts, below 18 inches. There are many different variables for what each category entails. Category 1 being that if you have something that's a rail that may be torn, ripped, or should be replaced immediately. Category 2 may have taken another hit, but is it functional? Don't know if it's functional or not, but it has taken a hit. We're gonna have to look at it maybe a little bit more and see if it has to be replaced as well. Category 3 may just be taking like a blunt force trauma hit or something like that, where the guardrail is still functional. These are some of the key things that we gotta look at as highway maintenance workers, some of the concepts to look at, to consider when you're actually looking for repairs and installation of guardrail. Acceptable modifications for guardrail, it just depending on how bad the hit is. We really have to be careful that we're keeping in compliance if we're going to do any modifications to any particular guardrail. That just depends on what it's going to do. Is it going to reduce the integrity of the actual guardrail? Is it going to actually allow the guardrail to be functional after it's been hit? But really, by all means, we should try to keep in with the manufacturer's guidelines and also make sure that we're keeping specific details from M&S standards to repair and replace the guardrails. There are many different types of end treatments that have many different functions. Those particular functions absorb many different types of energies from many different types of hits. It just varies on the amount of traffic flow, where the guardrail is actually placed. If it's actually in the city, could be in the mountains, could be in the eastern plains, it just varies from location. So I'd like to talk about the different terminals that we have. We have flare terminals, tangent terminals, and median terminals. Flare terminals, as we typically see on the side of the road, will go off to the side of the road. They are designed to redirect traffic so that if they actually hit that end terminal, they're not prone to actually cause more damage by hitting another vehicle. This is an example of an end terminal right here. It does not go off to the side of the road, but it is on the end and it's designed to absorb energy. End terminals typically have an impact head, an end rail, anchor bracket, breakaway post, and all the necessary hard rail that's required to assemble it. Median terminals is to prevent crossover in case any vehicle is to cross the median and hit actual treatment in the median. Tangent terminal is actually one that's on the side of the road. It runs normally parallel with it and absorbs energy. So anytime we come up on a guardrail hit, we've got to have a thought process in place. This is based upon the decision-making tree. First thing we want to make sure and utilize is our traffic control plans. Is it going to be a shoulder closure? Do you need a 568 for a speed reduction? You got to shut down a lane? All those variables are going to kick into place depending where your guardrail is going to be hit. So let's just go ahead and start off with the repair process. The first thing you want to do is identify what sort of hit that you have and what sort of system is that you work with. How are you going to identify that? You can look at the M&S standards. You can have the manufacturer's books. You can also utilize any supervisor, any past experience, anybody that you work with out on the road to make sure that you're working with that particular situation to get those repairs done. Identify which components that you have that are damaged, which ones need to be replaced, and have the particular materials, everything that you need on hand for your proper repairs. In conclusion, I would just like to say that safety is utmost importance for us as workers and the traveling public. We've got to make sure that we're identifying, utilizing all the proper components, identifying which end treatment that we're working with. It's very important to know that parts are not interchangeable with another and that we're using the right thing and staying in compliance for the guardrail repairs that we're doing out there. Everything is important when it comes down to the decision-making process, identifying what sort of category hit that we have to deal with, being proactive, working safe, putting the word out to the public if we know that we're going to be working in live lanes of traffic, and also making sure that we're being proactive in a timely manner to take care of these hits as soon as possible. Utilizing these tips is very important. You could use TM2s, other past experience TM1s, supervisors, all the documents that you have, Also, it's very important you can also look up all this stuff online as well. Our goal is to be the #1 DOT in the country, and that's what we strive to do. Thank you.